Ita for telling my wife that the only reason she says money doesn't matter is because we're rich. I, 48M, and my wife, 47F, both have very well-paying jobs. I am a pediatric doctor and she's an attorney, which have allowed us and our kids, 20F, 17M, and 15M, to have a more than comfortable lifestyle. My wife has a tendency to say things like money doesn't matter and that material things don't matter, and she says them all the time, which kinda irks me because she's right, but I was raised in a poor family, and I know that she wouldn't be saying the same thing if we were middle class. But I haven't said anything up until this morning. I had made a comment about needing a better watch, and my wife was saying her usual money doesn't matter. I told her that she was only saying that because we are rich and because she has never experienced being without money in any sense. Predictably, she got upset with me, and now I'm wondering if perhaps I overreacted and went too far. NTA, I will say money isn't everything, but it sure fucking helps. NTA, people who have always had money seem to be delusional about it. Money absolutely does matter when you're poor. NTA, Alex, can I get things only rich people say for $500? Money matters a lot to most people, especially now, unfortunately. NTA, but your wife is only an asshole very gently. It's difficult to understand and accept your privilege when you've grown up with it. I once said something akin to money doesn't matter or money doesn't buy happiness to a friend and got a proper lecture by a friend. It went somewhat like this: you only say money doesn't matter because you have it. It buys you a good university, nice holidays and good care altogether. These are things that make you happy/happier that you buy with the money that you say doesn't matter. Ita, for firing my son. Throw away because I don't want this seen on my main account. I'll get straight to the issue. My M43 17-year-old son Adam has been trying to become independent and preparing to move to college but was struggling to find a job. I own a private warehouse as a side job to earn a living. My wife suggested I hire my son to work at the warehouse, moving boxes, brining workers' lunch, helping with cleaning, that kind of stuff. She said it is for both of our benefits since he couldn't find a job and we needed to hire someone new. I agreed and Adam was so happy and excited to start working. We agreed on the salary and work hours so he still has time to study and practice. The first couple of weeks were going fine. That is until one day. The workers were moving boxes, computers, into the warehouse. The client wanted them to be stored for a few days and we already arranged before they arrived. It was all written down including the number of computers we stored. In the evening while I was checking I noticed there was one computer missing. I gathered all workers except for Adam and they had no idea and thought there was a mistake. I brought it up at home and Adam told me that he saw one of the workers putting a box in the garage to take home with him. I was confused since he couldn't specify which worker it was. He eventually gave me a name and I went to talk to the worker. He denied it and I ended up giving him X time to bring back the box and then I'd discuss why he did what he did. The worker is a single dad with 3 kids. I've known him for a while and I wanted to give him a chance. The next day I was busy, my daughter was in the hospital and I got back to the warehouse at 8 PM and it occurred to me to check the cameras. What I saw was Adam putting a box in the back of his friend's car and then the car left. I knew his friend and knew Adam stole the computer. I went home and I confronted him. My wife sided with him when he denied it and after arguing for hours I fired him and told him he was lucky I didn't call the police. This was my responsibility. The client entrusted me with his computers and Adam stole on the job. Adam started crying. My wife said I was wrong for firing him, that it was extreme and should have just took from his salary. She refused to drop it and tried to convince me to hire him again but I refused. I apologized to my worker and I told him if there's anyone he knows who needs this job I'll be more than happy to hire them. He brought his brother and he started working with us right away. Now my family calling me an asshole for hiring an outsider and not my son. The box was being kept at his friend's place. His friend is such a disrespectful asshole. I won't be surprised if he was the one who came up with the idea. However, it was Adam who took it and so he needed to be fired. This is not okay nor is it acceptable. Big NTA. This is a serious offense, and if this happened with another boss, he might be sitting at a police office now. You're a good boss. I suggest showing your wife the video if she's taking his side. I can't imagine, but the police would have absolutely gotten involved if this was someone else and not me. Not tolerating his behavior. I know what he did was wrong, but I wanted to give him a warning to realize his mistake and learn from it. NTA. And it sounds like your wife is enabling your son. NTA. He stole from his place of employment and lied about it and tried to get an innocent employee in trouble for it. If I had done that, I'd fucking expect to get fired. I think trying to get an innocent co-worker fired for it was way worse than the stealing itself. That's disturbing. NTA. NTA. I don't understand your wife or your family. They backed your thieving son, instead of being concerned that he resorted to theft to get what he wanted. This could seriously affect your business if your clients find out that some product is being stolen by your son. Lack of trust leads to lack of business. She's completely unreasonable and ignoring the facts. She said I was trying to ruin my son's chances over a mistake he made, and even blamed this on his friend, saying he was the one who convinced him to steal. Ita. For not giving my wife her daughter's address so she could see the newborn. Hear me out, please. I'm a 46-year-old father who lost a daughter, Molly, years ago to brain cancer. Molly's death broke me. She was my only child. I'm no longer who I was before this tragedy. Married my wife when my stepdaughter, Sarah, was 15. Sarah had issues with her mom. Her mom would kick her out over small arguments. She kicked her out for getting a haircut, for failing one class, and other reasons. Every time she'd bring her back home and tell her to learn her lesson or she'd be kicked out. One time her mom kicked her out over a dairy at 17 and Sarah had enough and didn't return. She started working. I remained in contact. I just couldn't let her struggle. I tried to help her financially, but she refused. She's incredibly independent and a hard-working person. She reminded me of Molly. I decided to help in other ways. I got her a better job opportunity by calling someone I knew at the time. This way she still had to work to earn money, which is something she wanted, and also work a better job that appreciated her more than the previous job. She's an artist. She wanted to be a graphic designer. I sold my old car to pay for her courses. She started paying me back bit by bit only because she's independent. She lived with her then boyfriend, now husband, and paid for other things. My wife didn't try to mend things. She disowned Sarah the day she got married, but I stood firm and told her that I'm free to talk to Sarah and she should respect that. I attend gatherings with Sarah from time to time and she calls me dad in front of other people. In the past it was just my name. This sounds crazy, but I believe this all happened just so I could meet Sarah and have a chance at being the best father that I could be. She's now 22 and just had a baby girl a few weeks ago. I visited several times and we talked. She told me that it was unfortunate that she lost her dad, but was glad she has me in her life. I cried, although I'm not good at expressing emotions, and it got worse after Molly's death. My wife knew about the baby and demanded I give her the address so she could go see her granddaughter. I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell, and because she's already dealing with postpartum and will not be able to deal with her mom's behavior. My wife threw a fit and said that this is her daughter and grandbaby and I shouldn't try to stop her from seeing her. She called me selfish and cruel. The argument didn't stop. The family are agreeing with her and telling me to stay out of it. I argued with my wife about it again, and she said I had no right and that I needed to give her the address. She didn't even seem regretful or wanted to apologize. Everyone is blaming me, telling I'm being cruel and demanding I give her the address. I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell. It begins and ends there. You are honoring Sarah's wishes. You would be a huge asshole to do otherwise. As it stands, you are the opposite of a huge asshole. You are a wonderful father. Congratulations on the birth of your granddaughter. May she be a light in your life that reminds you of your Molly. NTA. You're right, that's not my decision. But they're telling me I was the one driving a wedge in the family. Truth is, I'm not trying to lose Sarah's trust, and there are boundaries that I cannot overstep. The only conceivable way you're an asshole is for not divorcing someone like this before now. And I want you to understand that that's where this is headed. You're going to have to choose whether you want your daughter in your life or her mother, because you can't have both. I'm leaving the house tomorrow. I couldn't stand all this pressure. Sarah told me she didn't want to be the reason her mom and I get separated, but at this point I can't take it anymore. NTA in the kindest way I can muster, get a divorce. Agree, divorce the wife, keep the daughter. NTA, your wife is TA. I am very glad that you and Sarah have each other, and now so does your new granddaughter. Indeed. And I'm so grateful for that. This is my family and I'm willing to do all I can to continue to support them.